This is a big one because today, rather than interviewing politicians in cosy studios, as I know is the sort of norm in the industry these days, I decided I wanted to take politicians out onto the streets like I do every weekend to hear from real people. And someone who responded to my letter, as I have done for every political party, by the way, the offer remains open. Mayoral candidate for Reform UK, Laila Cunningham, joined me to see what the public think of her platform and the issues affecting them. So, Laila, I brought you here to Euston because this tent encampment here is building. It's getting bigger and bigger every single year. It stretches all the way down to the end of that road there. Sadiq Khan has pledged to tackle homelessness in London. However, homelessness has gone up, by some reports, up to 71% since he became mayor in 2016. Why is his increase in budget for this not working?
No, I mean, it's obviously led to more homelessness. You know, half of the country's homelessness, I think, are in London. And what we see is he says he's increased the budget. What exactly is he spending it on? He's not spending it on more homes because he's massively underspent on the central government fund that he gets to build homes. If reform win councils, we will prioritise veterans, which legislation is already in place to do so. It's just not enforced.
How much power will you really have to change this?
Well, the mayor has huge power to increase housing supply. You know, he can dedicate certain areas, TfL land, to housing, which he hasn't done, and he can expedite planning permission. He can get buildings built. But also, Alex, we do have a lot of people here, I think, I don't know what their situations are. Some of them are not British. Some of them are here illegally. And I feel that if we encourage this, it will only get bigger. Home ownership is directly correlated to quality of life, starting a family, and Labour councils and the mayor have been woefully underperforming, and they've created a massive housing crisis in the city.
That is disgusting, and I think the government should do something about that.
Yes.
They really do. They're lacking on it. Look at that. Look at that. I just come across the road and I said, why can't they see that? It's ridiculous.
What would you do to fix the homelessness problem?
Well, we need more housing, right?
Well, where?
We're not building enough.
Where else do we build? Where?
But you can build, but not in central London, but there are many
outside
London. You can build up.
You
can build up. You know, there are a lot of home building is stagnant because of regulation.
I don't know. I'm not going to get involved in that. But all I'm simply saying is that if the mayor is responsible, they should make sure that 100%. These streets are cleared.
Well, they need to get rid of all the tents, sort out the people who are sleeping in the street. It's a lost cause with him in charge, yes, definitely. He's messed up London completely.
I want to know what your impression of London is since you've been down here. How do you feel?
It's great.
Yeah, do you think it's safe? Do you feel like your kids, because are your kids studying down here, or are they working?
Working.
Okay, so your kids are working.
I feel really safe. I didn't think I would when we first came a couple of years ago, but actually, yeah, I feel very safe.
Do you feel comfortable with your kids here in London? Do you think they're safe when they're here?
Yes.
Yeah. I like a bit of a police presence. I don't feel intimidated. I just feel, I like it. I like the hustle and bustle of everything. I like the fact that there's such a diverse community. I love listening to the fact that not everybody's speaking English. I think that's just really good. I just really like it.
A big complaint from Londoners is that there are no police, and you know, we are going through a knife crime, a rape, robbery and theft and shoplifting epidemic.
Right.
And only 6% of crimes end up in a charge. So we want to put more visible policing. We don't really have police stations in London anymore. They've all shut down. And so we want to restore law and order.
What do you think of that?
I don't think London's any different to any other major city in the UK. I think crime's
a lot of police stations have closed where we're from in Yorkshire, so I think it's very similar.
Yeah. I do like to see police about. I do like that, but I don't feel that there's any less here than there is up north.
I think it's very much overcrowded right now. We don't feel safe. We've come out today and we've actually been followed. Someone stood outside a shop, waited for us to come out.
What would you do to help these ladies feel more safe?
I'm going on a platform of law and order because I grew up in London, born and raised, and there is no visible policing. And I want visible policing, police stations, pop-up police stations and empty shops. I want you to feel safe. I want you to feel that if that happens to you, you can rely on the police being there. So you said you had to kind of square up to him, and I've done that before, but you almost don't want to risk your life. You want to rely on the police to protect you, but right now I feel I am, and probably you are, protecting yourself. Yes. Where there's been the state has stepped back.
When you're out and about, do you feel unsafe? Do you feel safer than you have before? What's your thoughts?
No, it's not as safe as before. Like, I feel like the crimes have increased.
Recently, I was in like Shoreditch area and they tried to steal my phone while I was on the bus. Can you imagine? On the bus.
And no one does anything because everyone's so scared.
Right.
They're so scared to interfere with all of that.
So, Laila, what's your platform to make these young ladies feel safer in London?
Well, they're right. You need more visible policing. You need patrols on Oxford Street. You know, also, I don't know if you girls go out at night. I feel women don't feel safe when they come out of nightclubs. I want police when you come out of nightclubs so you do feel safe. And I actually want a dedicated elite police force to tackle, sexual offences and rape that's happening, because it is quite prevalent, sadly.
They get away with it a lot.
They get away with it a lot. Is that what you've heard?
Yes, I've seen it with my eyes as well.
Every time your phone connects to public Wi-Fi, anyone nearby could snoop on what you're doing. Hackers can steal your information, passwords, photos, and bank details in just seconds. ExpressVPN encrypts your connection, making it virtually impossible for hackers to access your personal information. ExpressVPN is so easy to use. With just one click of a button, you're protected. Streaming, banking, or shopping, you can switch between high-speed servers worldwide in seconds, and your connection never slows down. Click the link in the description or scan the QR code to get up to 75% off, plus 4 extra months free, all backed by a 30-day money-back guarantee. Protect your online life today.
When the state that's meant to protect them denies it's happening, I'm sorry, but it enables the abusers. It allows the abuse to continue. And I don't know how he can look the public in the eye, say it doesn't exist, when he must have known it does, and continue in his job.
How would you challenge that? How would you fix that problem?
Well, number one, I would take all the victims' accounts seriously. You know, I would do a deep forensic dive. I would speak to the Met. I myself would get an independent review, perhaps by a judge, to review all the cases supposedly that the Met got wrong. And I would have a specialist task force. You know, he has a specialist task force to combat words, hate crime. I want an elite specialist task force to investigate social services, the police, any councils, anyone that covered it up, as well as the abusers, because until everyone who covered it up is brought to account and prosecuted, the shame hangs over our city. And listen, Alex, my friend's daughter got very drunk underage in Hyde Park, and social services called her up. This is at the time that he was denying, and they told her, listen, we're just calling to check she's okay, and what we're really worried is about grooming gangs. And my friend said, grooming gangs? I didn't think they existed here. And at that time, this is about 6 months ago, social services said, oh, they exist and it's one of our biggest concerns. So everyone knows it.
Well, there you go. An elite specialist task force is what Laila Cunningham wants. We'll talk to the panel about that shortly. What about other issues Londoners care about, particularly about policing and Ulez?
I don't believe that all his, the Ulez and the congestion charge have really reduced congestion. I think what it's created is a two-tier London where people can afford to live in London, drive in London and pay it, and there are others who can't. And I want a London that's open for everyone. I would actually abolish the Ulez expansion because I don't think it's reduced congestion.
I think they're lying to us. I don't trust them. They are saying that they want the Ulez because of pollution, but I think it's because of overpopulation. They realise if everyone that lived here had a car, then traffic would just be jammed full.
The thing is, but Sadiq Khan is running on a kind of environmental ideology, and it doesn't suit the needs. I mean, my mum's 90, and one of her greatest pleasures is driving. She's actually 92, but up until 90 she was driving, and I think to force her to go into a bus or to charge her just for driving her car is cruel.
Do you like to see Ulez kept in place, sir?
I think there is a health care, and in the old days there was worse air pollution with smog and stuff, if you go back far enough. And I think climate change and that does matter. And I think those are factors to bear in mind. So it's a pain when the Ulez came in, because you had to adapt your car or pay. But if you take that self-interest out of it, I think it's probably right. But I didn't particularly like it when it came in.
But so pollution wasn't particularly high in the outer boroughs, and some would say that congestion actually hasn't dropped. It just costs. People pay to drive, but it doesn't stop them from driving into London. It's just a tax on drivers.
Well, we value that in London there is good public transport.
It's expensive.
And well, yes, I'm old enough for it to be free.
But many aren't, and you're lucky to have made it there. So, but many aren't. I have many children, and to take them on the tube is really expensive for me.
Do you think London is safer or less safe? Let's say versus 2016.
I think some serious crimes are down. So in some aspects safer, in some aspects less safe.
Do you think there's a crisis of crime in London? Do you think we need to do more to tackle law enforcement? One of the things that Laila is standing for is to put more bobbies on the street, reopen police stations. What do you make of that?
I think what would be better would be to invest in prisons so that people were helped, so they didn't come out and reoffend.
Final word, do you think Sadiq Khan overall has done a good or bad job as London Mayor?
I think he may have done a better job than someone else.
A spokesperson for the Mayor of London has said this, though. The Mayor has made clear that no one should have to sleep rough on our streets. Under his leadership, more than 18,000 people have been helped off the streets, but there's much more to do. That's why Sadiq has launched a bold new plan of action to end rough sleeping for good by 2030 and has provided record funding from City Hall. This includes the single biggest investment of £10 million, more than any London mayor. The Mayor is delivering new Ending Homelessness hubs and expanding his Homes Off the Streets programme, alongside establishing a prevention phone line for funding more support workers in our communities. Sadiq will continue to work closely with the government, London councils and homelessness sector to tackle this crisis as we continue building a fairer London for everyone. On concerns about crime in London, a spokesperson for the Met Police previously said in October last year, tackling violent crime in all of its forms is one of the Met's priorities, and we have reduced the number of personal robberies across London by 12% since April 2025. Sadiq Khan on X in January said London has recorded the lowest homicide rate since records began. Even our harshest critics have to accept the progress we have made is remarkable, but we are not complacent. One death will always be too many. All right, listen, my offer extends to you other politicians. Come and join me and speak to real Londoners in London. Hear what they have to say. Their answers might surprise you. All right.